Greetings from the Bahamas. In true Shannon fashion, I really thought I was going to record part 2 right after part 1, but the week got away from me with the holidays. So I'm recording here and I'm kind of glad I waited because being here just reminds me just how showing up on Instagram and creating content from the heart and not trying to hide your face and telling your story and taking people along for the journey, not just sharing your tips and tricks and personality. It goes beyond that, right? Without Instagram, I don't know where I'd be, honestly. I'd probably be working in a cubicle, miserable, somewhere I don't feel comfortable or appreciated, right? I've talked about it a lot on other podcasts of how in a corporate environment, I just found myself, I didn't thrive. I felt very intimidated. I never really felt it was for me, right? And when I worked at CNN, which I thought was my dream job, turned out it wasn't, right? Just looking at doom and gloom all day just wasn't good for my mental health. And when I first started my business 10 years ago, social media, people thought it was a fad. I mean, obviously it's not. We knew that. I knew that, but a lot of people didn't, right? And they thought, they could just pay someone $100, $200 a month. Time has changed. People have full on social media teams at their companies, right? Back then, there was a marketing team and they barely even spoke social media back 10 years ago. So it just goes to show what can happen in 10 years. And again, I've been doing this over 10 years. I started my business as just like a little side hustle in 2014. By 2016, 2017, I started taking it really seriously. And here we are. And we're on a vacation we couldn't have even dreamt about, couldn't have even fathomed. So I just want you to know, I know you're frustrated, but I'm telling you right now, 2026, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. I think it's easier to grow on Instagram now more than ever. I think it's easier to grow on TikTok right now more than ever. Because here's the thing, a lot of people, yes, is it harder to get seen? Are we putting one reel up and going viral and gaining 1 million followers like a lot of people did in 2020? No. But a lot of those people, guess what? They're struggling now because they built something that wasn't exactly them. And now they're struggling trying to figure out how to show up. So I'm saying this to say we've gone back to basics. I've been saying it and screaming it for years now. We have gone back to the basics of social media, human connection, storytelling, all that stuff. And I think that's why I'm still here and why I haven't burned out all these years, even when the years were really, really tough, because I love what I do. I love sharing my journey. I love showing up for y'all. I love getting to know y'all. I love having conversations. I'm on social media to connect with humans, not just put out content, collect, sell a course and not connect with anyone. Like that's not what we're doing here. And I know if you're listening to this podcast, you're like that too. You lead with a servant heart. You want to be here and help others. And I love that for you. So just know, even if it feels frustrating right now, I don't want to say locking in, because locking in could mean 30 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be a full-time job, right? So with that said, with the homework I gave you last week, I hope you did it. I'm so proud of you. It was, again, that chatgpt prompt, just to have chatgpt spit out a bunch of scenario situations your people find themselves in based on testimonials you have, based on stories you can tell of things that, you've helped people have aha moments, or conversations you've had with people at your boutique, or conversations you've had at a market that you sell things, right? Things like that. Once you feed all that to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever it is, you can now use it as, like, I would say, a stepping stone. Do not rely on AI too much, because that's not what we're going to do. You lean on it as like a little crutch just to kind of help boost and get some ideas going. So with the prompts that it gave you after you did that and you plugged in, hopefully, the Reels prompts that I gave you on last week's episode that you could screenshot and throw in there, I did it as a test. I thought it'd be fun. I actually decided to do wedding photographer, because what I love about helping photographers is, like, they sell a product, but also a service. So if you sell a product or a service, this will be a good lesson for all of you. And they're hyper local. So if you're a hyper local or you sell a product or a business, I was like, it's kind of fun how wedding photographers kind of cover all that, because, again, their pictures are the product, their services, the service, and they're, like I said, local. What I did with this, and I said, for all those hooks I threw in that I shared in last week's podcast, I was like, hey, pretend I'm a wedding photographer whose aesthetic is all about movie, cinema. They take wedding photos that look like cinema, and basically what they create is the first family heirlooms and da-da-da-da. Like, I gave it all that messaging, because you don't just say they take pretty pictures. That's not what you do. And even if you sell stickers, bookshelves, books, or you sell legal advice, or, you're someone's lawyer in their back pocket, or you help people start a business from home, whether you're a sleep coach, whatever it is, we're buying the reason you do it. We're buying a better version of ourselves. We're following you because we aspire to be something else. You got to remember those. That's humans. That's where this human psychology comes into marketing. So what it said in that exercise that I had you guys do, one of the hooks was things I blank that you'll blank on repeat, was one of the hooks. And I love this. ChatGPT spit out things I did at this wedding that turned their photos into instant family heirlooms. And that could have been a reel that was the first 1.5 seconds, and then it showed a clip of something she did versus the photo, something she did versus the photo, right? Something like that. Or heat. Let's see, things I do during golden hour that will make your album feel like a film still. So that was pretty cool. Things I tell my couples before their wedding that make their photos look timeless. So there you go. Now, the other one, the POV. POV, you almost blank, but then remembered blank. I love this. You almost hired a cheaper photographer for your wedding in blank. You put where you're located, but then remembered your photos become your family's future heirlooms. I mean, again, not like crazy, but it could go viral if the videos and photos that you share are powerful enough. Oh, POV, you almost skipped golden hour portraits, but then remembered they're the most cinematic part of the entire day. And again, that could be like 5 seconds of the video and then like bam, 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 and then like 4 photos in a row. So it's like a 7-second reel. POV, you almost rushed through your wedding portraits, but then remembered these are the photos your kids will frame one day. Do you see what I mean by the scenarios, the situations? So the scenario situation for them is like, oh, maybe we'll skip it. We just want to get to the reception. That's the situation scenario that ChatGPT came up with. Like people are like, oh, we want to be with the family. We don't want to make people wait too much. This photographer would say, it's worth it. Your kids will frame this one day. This takes it from a day to a 80-year, 100-year future for a family. That is where the cost of your business or your product or your service goes out the freaking window. This goes for travel here. Spent a lot of money on this trip. It's not about it. We're not going to remember how much this trip costs. We're going to remember the memories that we've made. And we've already made so many memories. We haven't even been here 24 hours. Okay. Let's go to another prompt. When someone suggests Starbucks, but you already blah, blah, blah. Remember that one? When someone suggests doing Pinterest photos, but you already planned cinematic, natural moments that feel like a movie. Do you see how freaking easy it is to take real, and I kind of regret I'm giving away all my tricks right now, but I don't care. But this is it. But again, like I said, ChatGPT, let me tell you something. About 70% of these were not good. Like not good. So that's where you got to think like a marketer. You got to look through these and go, which ones actually connect, resonate, make us feel. They throw out the situation, they throw out the scenario that people are thinking about in the future or are in right now. And they give them the idea, the suggestion, or they add in the humor to go with it. They add in the feeling that goes with it. And that's how you go viral on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of it. Ooh, I love this. For the favorite things I'd steal, that one. Poses I'd steal. And you could actually, instead, if I was your coach, I would say poses I have my clients do to make their photos feel effortless and real. Locations I'd steal, it says, for couples who want movie still energy. And to make it even more hyper local for this person, I would say locations in Denver, locations in Boise, locations in Paris, right? And you could even say off the grid locations, secret locations to add even more curiosity. It's all about taking whatever, if you are going to lean on ChatGPT and do these exercises, please make sure you're adding in little buzzwords that you see going crazy on social right now, or add in, secret, boring, unsexy. Like people love that because it adds curiosity. I see a lot of reels in carousels. Again, these can be used for carousels. Most of these can be used for carousels as well. Not the POVs. If you do a POV, that's typically going to be an on-screen hook of a reel. Something like things I do or poses I da-da-da, or those are great for carousels. Okay, so the 50 date ideas one, we'll do this one more and then I'll let y'all go. Oh my gosh, I love this one. 10 shot ideas couples always thank me for from someone who's photographed 200 plus weddings. Again, you take the hook from a viral piece of content, you put your words, energy, personality, skills, and the emotions your people want to feel in it. And you're 2026, you're going to outshine all your competitors because that's what people are missing. They're missing the emotion piece. They're missing the personal piece. They're missing the relatable piece. They don't see themselves in the content because it's boring and it looks like a blog post title from 2019. We're not doing that. We are basically in 2026. It is December 2025. We got to start thinking like marketers. That doesn't mean you have to be a marketer or have taken marketing classes or have gone to marketing school, gone to college. Again, I'm naturally good at this because this is how my brain works. This is why I studied communications and marketing. I'm obsessed with this stuff. I don't really have to lean on chat to do it, but this just shows that you can. If you're like, Shannon, I can't afford to work with you, but gosh, I wish I could work with you. I just gave you the formula. You're good to go, my friend. And I love you. And I hope this helps you. And as always, keep listening to this podcast. I will always be sharing viral hooks, things I see going crazy and what you're going to do. And now that you've trained your AI tool, or if you don't want to use AI, just brainstorm. Before ChatGPT, I had to do all this. I had to go, what are my people struggling with? Oh, they're in 200 view jail. What are my people struggling with? Oh, they had another flop and they're about to quit and go back to their job. What are they struggling with? What scenarios are they finding themselves in? What scenarios? They find themselves trying to film B-roll and feeling awkward because it's awkward, right? And I'll do humor around that. I'll do tips around that. I'll do empathetic content around that. I take my 4 H's and I run with it. And they see themselves, they feel seen, and then they hit follow. If you make them feel seen and helped and supported, and that you have the product service for them that's going to change their life, or at least their morning or their afternoon, they're in. They're in and they're a fan for life. I love you, friend. You've got this. Mwah.